Hi, everybody, and welcome back to Hack-On's Journey in the Banner Saga, which was recently released by Stoic Studios. My name is Splattercat, and as always, it's nice to have you here. In the previous episode, we had busted our way into somewhere. I don't remember what the city was called. All of the names in this game are really hard to remember and really complicated. I'm doing my best, though. Let's have a look at the map, and I'll try and see. I think it was like Frostveller? No, Frostveller was what we did in the episode before. We're in Vetterfell. That's what it is. So we are currently in Vetterfell. We busted down the gates in the last episode and forced them to allow us inside because they had locked all the refugees outside, and we're not down with that. We do not roll in that particular configuration. So we said, you know what? Your gate is now our gate. And I think in this case, we have a couple of casualties. Let's take a look at our recruitment tent. And yeah, so we have Gunnulf, who's not feeling so well. He's a little bit rumbly in his tummy. He's been having trouble getting himself consistent. So we need to definitely give him some more Wheaties. And I think I'm also going to give him a day off. So we're going to rest for a day. We may even rest for 2 days. Look how many supplies we have. We have enough supplies to where I feel like that's probably a reasonably decent idea. So let's rest for a day or two. And there it is. So we've managed to rest ourselves up. Let's be on. Is he back into battle now? He should be totally cool. Yeah, Gunnulf, my man. Okay, let's go ahead and bounce on out of here by petting the woolly cow thing of traveling. And off we go with our yellow banner. My assumption is that this group is going to meet up with the other group, and then we'll have an orange banner, because yellow plus red equals orange. That's a little bit of color math. You overhear a conversation while marching alongside the warriors. I'm happy to stomp some slags as much as the next Varl, but I didn't join up to take orders from Hack-On. Apparently he doesn't realize that you're within earshot. I'm not willing to die for him either. I'll make my presence known, but walk on. Not sure Vognir would have been happy to hear that, you growl loudly. The Varl flinches as you walk past without looking his direction. In the distance, you can hear his friend laughing at his misfortune. That's what friends are for. That's what best friends are for. Best friends will always use you as a humorous antidote in the future. Your unfortunate exploits. A small gathering of tents come into view, a group of merchants from the look of it. You ask what they're doing here, and they respond that they were camped out by the Godstone ahead. We're leaving an offering to Denglir, as one does. His expression turns. Dredge start appearing out of nowhere. Some of us stayed. We thought the Godstone would be safe, but damned if I know why. We've been dodging them since we left. We'll tell them that the way to Strand is clear. We don't have enough renown to really trade for anything right now anyways. They thank you profusely. One stops as he passes. If you're going by Denglir, will you do me a favor? My wife's brother stayed behind. You'll know him by a necklace with many rings on it. If you see him, say we are safely in Strand. You nod. After a short time, they continue on. We cleared out like that big group of dredge, so they should be perfectly fine back there. God, the impression that this animated background gives is just an amazing montage to just beautiful earth porn. The caravan slows unexpectedly. Word travels down the line, and then to Mogir, who tells you, Dredge know we're coming. Probably saw us back at Vetterfell and did their usual lurking. Could have been bad if we'd plotted into them, but we saw them first. Dredge watch you waiting to see what you do. When's the last time you commanded a few hundred, Hack-On? Asks Mogir. Don't overthink it. The warriors can take care of themselves. When you come across more enemies than your party can handle, you engage in war. You give your army orders to fit the situation, but you'll get your own hands dirty too. By making the battle easier for yourself, you'll end up with higher casualties, or you can take the burden on yourself with a harder battle but save more lives. If you're ever desperately outnumbered, it may be the best to run, avoiding battle completely. Dredge line the battlefield with their weapons drawn. A fight seems inevitable. You take a quick head count. There must be at least 515 of them. You have 185 fighters and 466 Varl at your side. Even from here, you can see nervous glances amongst the enemy ranks. This looks like a good chance to press your advantage. I don't know what any of this does right now. Let's charge. Screw it. You consider taking your trusted allies and leading the charge, battering down the enemy. It will throw you into the thick of battle where fighting is the most dangerous, but a strong charge can save lives. Whatever. Let's do it. We can handle this. You gather your allies and tell them to get ready to lead the attack. Hell yeah, we're not going to do any of this cowering ferret shit. We're going to jump straight up in there and just grab it by the throat. Because that's what cats do, Splattercat style, right? You've ever seen a cat fight. You know that's how it goes. We've also got Bercy. What does he do? Bercy? Nothing? I kind of want to swap Bercy for Eric. I mean, Eric gives you more willpower, but at the same time, he doesn't have a bow. And that makes me sad. And I think in this case, having a bunch more of our big ol' horned guys will probably be a better plan since we're going to be rapidly and vastly outnumbered from what I can tell. Although taking Eric instead of Luden might be a good chance, but Luden needs to level up too. I don't know. This seems like a desperate fight. Let's bring the people who are leveled up just to make sure. We also want Ursa to go pretty early because I looked at her ability and it's an AoE. It's the first one we've ever been given. Let's see how bad this is going to be. We were outnumbered 5-1 on the battlefield, so this could be a little bit hairy. Oh, this doesn't look so terrible. Let me go ahead and I'm going to hit the tab key and open up everybody's strengths. Well, never mind. It's not going to let me do that right now. So we've got Bercy, who appears to do the exact same thing as, what's his name? Gunnulf. So Bercy and Gunnulf basically do the same thing, even though Bercy shares an animation with Hakon, except he's got different facial hair. His facial hair is a little bit more stoic, I suppose. I would prefer to rotate people a bit, and we're going to stagger it. And I don't know how far they can move. I'm going to put a bit of focus to one side. We'll have her jump into the background, and I think that's about where I want people configured. Actually, let's reverse the staggering. There we go. I'm going to stagger with him in the front. And it looks like our turn order. I wish you could shift it from here. I should have thought about it a little better. I want him to go first. Battle time. Well, they all can't move very far. Who's up first? It's not him. Who is this guy right here? Oh, the boss is up first. Okay, the big badass. The Dredge Scourge. He's got lots of just sounds in his name. That's how you know he's a badass. I'm going to bypass his turn. There's no reason that I should really run out anywhere. I'm going to allow them to configure themselves first, and then I'll figure out how I want this approach to occur. I'm going to move him forward, and I'm going to trigger Bring the Pain, I think. And so there it is. His armor is sundered a little bit. And until the next turn, whenever he takes damage, he's going to deal back 2 damage, which is precisely where I want him. It's not allowing me to spend any points. Is he up? He's not up next. That's not what I want. You to step back by 1 so he can't get at you. He can't get at him either, so this is going to force him to waste his turn. Hopefully. Unless I've done something dumb style. He's up pretty soon, and so is he. But I think if I configure this properly, he can't get at me. Well, he can if he uses willpower, I guess. With 12 strength, that's a little bit of a gamble, though, with him. His strength simply isn't high enough to risk, like, going full bore into that center, like, that central location, because he could get dogpiled by all of them. So I'm going to hang him back for just a minute. I'm going to move him forward, like, slightly, but hang him back still, until the enemy decides what their plan is. I'm going to move her to there. And I want to play around with this AoE. She can't fire it that far. So maybe we'll step her forward in a little bit. And I am going to use both of hers because she has a bonus right now to her willpower. So I'm going to use her bonus to crack his armor a little bit better. Oh, and it made a nice little bounce too. Fantastic. A little bit of the chain lightning action right there. On this side, we've got ourselves Eric, who could go up against this guy. When's his next turn? How many people do I have before he goes up? So as long as Hakon can get into the battle before anything terrible happens, I think we should be alright. Yeah, we should be okay. Let's go ahead and we're going to move Hakon to right here. And we're going to preemptively sunder his armor to make sure Hakon's going to be able to do 9 damage to him right now. And if we sunder him, Hakon should be able to one-shot him. And that's an activity which brings me much joy. It definitely does not cause me to scoff with chagrin, or to be taken aback. And so, oh, I don't want that either. Let's go ahead and wipe him on out. And down he goes. In this front side fight, is that the Scourge? Is he up next? Okay, I'm going to behave similarly. I'm going to do the exact same thing that I did before. Just keep myself with Bring the Pain, although I had a feeling he was probably going to redivert over to there. Damn, that hurt. Wow. Absolutely hurt unbearably. Hopefully we can get him out of the way. I can't guarantee that we can. Okay, we'll be able to get him out of the way, so it should work out in our favor. For now, though, I'm going to create a little bit of a gap so that he can escape through there and nothing can follow him. Still not going to take Bercy forward, because he still runs the risk of getting dogpiled, so we're going to continue to rest. Damn, he made it. Balls, I hate that. I hate that so much. Well then. I guess... we've already lost Eric. Can that hurt my own men? Is what really, really worries me. Doesn't matter, let's try it. Slag and burn. Awesome. So those coals on the ground, I didn't explain what those were appropriately, but what those coals do is those coals, anything that walks across them, takes strength damage. Now this does line me up. Eric's sacrifice is not in vain because Hakon can now one-shot the boss, which is precisely the way we're going to conduct ourselves. Unless he's got Sundering Impact. Yeah, let's use that right now. What's that going to do for me? Although I think Sundering Impact doesn't deal strength damage. I think it only does... I don't want to risk it. I feel as though Sundering Impact only does armor damage. I'm going to go ahead and make sure that we just whack him completely right now. So down he goes. We've earned ourselves another willpower. The damage has bounced to that individual now. On this side, he can deal 5 damage to that guy. So that's his only real move right now. So that's what we're going to allow him to do. Little bit of damage taken right there, but that's okay. Anything that lowers his strength and gets him out of the lead of combat. He's got 17 damage ready to go. He's going to be able to do 10 damage to this dredge right here. So we're going to take a hack at him. Very nice. Gave him a little bit of the old braver action. Okay, and so now is Bercy's chance. What we want to see now is Bercy to jump in right here. He can deal 6 damage to this guy, which is going to remove him from the fight completely. And down he goes. And we also did that bouncy damage. I keep forgetting that some of my guys have that Sundering Strike. Always a useful ability to have on hand. She hasn't moved, but nobody has had their armor damaged, I don't think. I mean, we can try. She can only do 1 damage to each individual. I think I'm just going to have her slag and burn one more time. Now that one hit our own guys. So now that I've got a feel for it, I think we'll be okay. Now that I know, that was one of those tests that we were going to have to do in between here or somewhere. I'm going to take a swing at him with a full force blow. It's going to put him down to 2. And then with the Sundering damage, it's going to put them down to 5 and him down to 5 as well. So we're in a good spot right now. I would absolutely love for Gunnulf to get a kill right here. Because he needs a promotion. That's one of those things. Gunnulf is one of those characters that I feel like we could really promote him into like an amazing character. But unfortunately, he just hasn't gotten the kills. Lately, he's been getting himself fragged at the beginning of every battle. So giving him the damage that he needs just hasn't happened. The upgrades haven't been available. Since they're based on kills, that is. You take a moment to survey the battlefield. The enemy is being pushed back all the way down the line. Amazing! You could take this opportunity to pull back and leave combat immediately. On the other hand, chasing down more dredge would rally your fighters and save a few lives. You won't have time to rest or change your party, but a chance to loot your enemies might even reveal items they took from previous victims. Yeah, sure, let's kill a few more. Why not? You attack any dredge brave enough to face you. It's like we've got 2 Scourge and just 2 normals. Oh, that's like nothing. Whatever. Unconcerned. Can he step to right there? He can. I suppose I'll pull out like a little diversionary tactic over here maybe, and he's probably going to go after Gunnulf, would be my expectation. Yep, and so there's 3 damage off on my heavy hitter. How far can they move? Incidentally. Guess I'll move her to right there. We'll take a shot at him, trying to remove as much of his armor as we can. And that means we can now draw Hakon. I didn't realize Hakon was so wounded. That's a problem. Let's draw Hakon down here then. Who is then going to go for a Sundering Impact with a full damage boost. We've got a few seconds before that guy arrives. And what I'd like to do with that time is continue to sort of shift this way. He can deal 9 damage right now to anybody he damn well pleases. And in this case, I think he has Tempest, right? No. I want you to move right to there. And let me check one more time. Normal strength damage to 2 adjacent enemies, starting from target and going clockwise. Okay, let's do it. Very cool. So he did a total of 15 damage right there. That enemy is now completely worthless. He can't get through anybody's armor, so he's getting himself nice and deflected at the moment. I'm going to continue pulling this way, and we'll face off against the Scourges in just a moment. Is that one? No, it's that one. Okay, that's fine. I need to get her the hell out of the way before the Scourge gets its next turn. Otherwise, she's going to get flattened. Absolutely flattened. Whose turn is it? It's his? Okay. This could end up poorly for all parties involved, no matter what I do, especially if he decides to trade in a willpower. Her strength is just abysmal right now. I think what I'd rather do... Oh, she doesn't have any willpower left. No wonder. Okay, well, let's lower armor then, I guess. Good. Fantastic. I was hoping that's what would happen. And while that doesn't leave me in an incredible situation, it does at least buy me a bit of something with regards to time. What I'm going to do here now is I'm going to shield bash him so that I get the reflective damage. And I was wondering who he would go after. It looks like he's gone after Bercy, which is another issue. Let's go ahead and finish this guy off. But we're probably going to lose somebody over here. Yeah, that was not unexpected. Let's get rid of some of that massive armor right there. I'm going to continue beating away. Yeah, he's not going to be able to kill him on this turn, so we're going to continue beating away on that armor in the hopes that... Ah, I was wondering what he might choose to do there. And so now we're behind the 8-ball, unfortunately. And I don't think we can recover. I'm going to give him everything that he can afford. We've also got to move. We got to do this intelligently. Not completely sure what just happened. However, in this case, I'm going to rotate a little bit. We're going to have to kite this one out in order to make it work. Give him one more, and we'll step him to the side. Yeah, we're about to lose this battle hardcore. Like straight stupid mode. I've made a mistake. Well, hopefully it's not game over when this happens. That would be a problem. It's weird, though, that if we're chasing down enemies, we get surrounded. I don't know. I wanted to point that out. It's a little strange that if we're chasing down the enemies, we're the ones that get surrounded, but whatever. Let's just get this thing over with quickly and figure out if it game overs me or not. So we gained renown. We lost 63 Varl, 6 injuries, obviously. Okay, well, at least it's not game over. That would have sucked. But a few things that I would point out is that you shouldn't start out surrounded if you're chasing down the enemy and running them from the field. That's a little weird. That's a little odd. Just one of those little things I would kind of take offense to. But whatever, you know. You black out as you fall and come again to many of the warriors who were able to escape the battle. They carried you from the scene. You've lost a lot of good warriors, not much left to do but push on. I feel like... I don't know, I'll have to talk to somebody that actually did that with the other options, but did we come out worse even though we won the first battle and lost the second one? Because winning the first battle, I feel like, should have shifted a lot of that. I don't know. The second battle was sort of unnecessary and ancillary, like, why bother with it, you know what I mean? I feel like you shouldn't have any detriment for losing the second battle because you were running down the enemy who was already defeated. I don't know. I just don't know, my friends, but apparently I played piss poorly and I've lost. Ludin has been sending scouts ahead, quicker and more nimble than your Varl. One rushes back as you cross the hilltop out of breath. Dredge, that direction. You overhear him tell Ludin, about a day away. They found a village. You ask what they're doing. They're tearing the place apart, he says. Maybe 1,000 of them or more, looking for gods know what. This will be a bigger fight than usual. Ludin is uncharacteristically silent, waiting to see what you say. Let's wait and see what they do. I'm not going to jump into a fight because everybody's wounded. A long day passes. Eventually the scout returns, reports that they seem to be doing the same as before. Some move on while others take their place. All you learn is that they're looking for something to devour in a village that has been picked clean. You set out at a slow march, moving as quietly as an army can. It'll be another half day before you spy the village. When they come into view, you'll make a plan. Well, hopefully everybody heals because we're pretty beat up right now. Let's camp, actually. I realized I can click that button, and I'm going to do just that. Let's go ahead and have a look at what our options are going to be. I think we should definitely rest. Let me have a look at my roster first, though, and figure out who's beat up. Okay, we only need 1 day, so it'll be okay. Everything is going to work out. Everything's going to be perfectly fine. It's weak that we lost a battle, though. I'm feeling a little lame about that. Our morale's pretty low, too. There we go. It's back up to good. And so that should put everybody in a position of power. Got a couple upgrades to do, which I absolutely 100% want to take care of before we go to another battle. Our Warhawk is leveled up. Gunnulf is our main striker. And his ability thus far, or his disability thus far, has been that he gets aced really, really early. So I'm going to give him some more armor, because he's super fragile for how strong he is. Oddly enough, so I'm going to give him a bunch of armor with Bercy. Bercy seems to be the exact same character. Yeah, he's a Warhawk, so he's got the same thing going on as Gun. I'm going to give him... We're going to build him a little more evenly. We're going to give him armor and an extra bit of damage. I do feel like his lack of strength made him tremendously less interesting to use than Gunlof or Gunlafe or Gunass or whatever the hell his name was. But we'll confirm that. What is his name by the Gunnulf? There we go. I can remember names, kind of, sort of. Ursa is just downright terrible, simply based on the fact that her bow... I didn't realize her strength was so just piss poor. Her area denial is lackluster at best. Like, how many embers leaves 3 coals, leaves 4 coals? I don't like her as a character, and I think we're going to drop her. I just don't see her being that useful. Her area denial is not so good as I would like it to be to make up for the fact that she's basically useless in combat. We could use her as an armor breaker, but I think she's probably going to come out of my rotation, and I'll probably bring in our Spearmaster instead, since he can knock people back. So let's go ahead and let's make that swap now, since her AoE is more or less kind of just terrible. You would have to level it up to make it useful, and even at that point, the best you're going to get is 1 strength damage whenever people walk across it, right? Yeah, so it doesn't increase the damage ever, from the fact of the matter that the damage never goes up from the coals, and so the best you're ever going to get in an optimal situation is that she locks out a little plus sign that's like a 3x3 plus. It drops 4 coals. The best you will ever get in that case is they walk across 3 and take 3 strength damage on top of the 2 they've already taken, which is 5. That doesn't make up for the fact that her strength is so god-awfully low that she's not a justifiable... I think if I had brought somebody else instead of her, I probably would have been in a much better situation in that last fight. I feel like she was kind of just worthless every single turn. Aside from the fact that I used her to AoE my own troops. That's another problem that we're not going to talk... Shh, it's not my fault. Don't think about it. Now then, I think that we're just about out of time for this episode. I think like something crazy is about to happen on the horizon. So I'm going to break the episode off here. My name is Splattercat. Thank you for joining me at the Nerd Castle for another episode of the Banner Saga, which didn't go quite so well as the last few episodes. I hope we do better. I mean, we won the first battle. We won 50% of the fights in this episode. And the second one was a fight we didn't really need to take anyways. If you guys did a different method down there where you didn't fight the second battle, let me know how many guys you lost, because I'm interested to see if we were penalized for taking the second battle, even though we had already won the main battle. I am interested in knowing if that resolution turns out differently. Take care, guys, and I will see you next time.